This week's interview is with Max Rommel. I'm going to start out with Max. What are your 2018 Speedway plans?
Other than to work and race here in the States, not a whole lot. A big year coming up, and I just want to try and win a national championship, really. So that's my ultimate goal for the year.
Who are your sponsors and who helps you out each week?
It's a combination of a many few. There's a lot of people that help us out every week. Whether it's helping us get to the races or do anything like I know Kelly Inman has helped out with getting my little brother to the races. Then also my mechanic Claudio, he's helped a bunch ton in getting me to all the farther races that we have to go to and keeping me focused. And then we have our main sponsors like Alarmco, who actually gives me a roller for the year, and then we have Mike Kelly, who actually supports a lot more than anything else, anybody else really. He's a rad dude, and uh, like I said, they come far and few, but my aunt and uncle's body shop, Big Ron's body shop. So, and that's really all the real big support we get, and I can't forget RF. He goes half in with Mike Kelly on a motor, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Who helps you maintain your bikes and turn them between races?
Maintaining bikes and turning races comes from my mechanic Claudio. He does a whole lot for me, and is very knowledgeable about setups and making the bike go fast. So every time I get on the thing, all I have to do is twist the throttle. And he said, and this is actually I think a quote that Gage Geist told me. He was working with him for a little bit during the off season last year. Well, I think I took like a 3 or 4 month just solid break from speedway and just kind of focused on work and that stuff. But he told Gage that it's just like he can set a bike up and not know what the heck he's doing. Thinking it's not going to work. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here, and then I'll get on it and go out and win a main event on the setup that he doesn't think will work, and it surprises the heck out of him. But you know, it all comes back to him really, where everything for everything.
What is involved in turning a bike between, like, let's say, heat one and heat five? What kind of setup changes do you make?
There's a lot. You can go from, a very conservative setup on the night. When you start out the races, you don't know exactly how the track's going to be, how the dirt's going to react to the bike. And, so the bike can be set up very conservatively. We have, which is trying to be conservative. We have the wheel turned back a little more. We have a bigger sprocket on or something, just trying to get the RPMs up. And a lot goes into like timing and jetting of the motor. And like I said, that all comes with a conservative setup. And then towards the middle and end of the night, we go and, we could go from running a 64 tooth sprocket to dropping down to like a 58 tooth sprocket with, you're going from a really small main jet to try and get the RPMs up to a huge main jet, such as like a 250 main jet, which would completely open that little hole a lot more and allow a bunch more fuel to go in, which actually gives the bike more of like a duller sound. It calms the bike down more than anything because it's kind of drowning it with fuel. So you're now bringing the RPMs lower, trying to get more aggression out of the bike to go faster on a grooved in track, or if the track's killer all night and it's got a rad dirt line and everything's going good, you sometimes don't have to change hardly anything. I've gone a whole night and just flipped a tire, which is changing the edge around, and that's all I've done on some nights. And some nights we go from doing that to changing a complete gear setup from the first heat to the fifth heat. It's all circumstances and track conditions and how far you're willing to go with it.
Will we be seeing you at Fast Fridays a few more times maybe this year?
It's really hard to get the time off work and be able to go up there for the whole day trip, then turn around. And I'm a guy that's been working 6 to 7 days a week for the past 2 months. So it gets hard to tell when I have a solid day off or when, the time's right. But I'm definitely going to try and make it up there a few times this year. One up last year was for the AMA National, and I ended up doing fairly well for having not ridden on the track for an entire year. So, but I'm gonna try and set some dates and get the time off to go up and do them and be ready and more prepared for the next one.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a place called Baghouse Industrial Sheet Metal Services. So what I do at Baghouse is, I guess we should start off with Baghouse in general. Baghouse is a big company that bases itself off sheet metal, and we do a lot of like duct work. We do installations of duct work. We make anything that involves metal. But my particular job is a CNC. I run the CNC lasers and anything and everything else that needs to be helped out around.
How old are you and where do you live?
I am 20 years old. I'll be 21 in March, and I currently live in Lake Elsinore.
Do you have any plans for your 21st birthday?
I was really wanting to go snowboarding and do that whole big trip. So I really want to try and get myself on a snowboard during my birthday. But if that doesn't plan, if that plan doesn't work out, just try and hang out with as many friends as possible and, throw a few back.
You seem so mature, like watching you over the past 5 years. I think you're like 25, 26, and it's really amazed how mature you've been like this last 3 years. Is there any future plans on going to Europe?
That is the ultimate goal. Everybody wants to go and do it, and they want to be, a world class speedway rider and go race overseas. And of course, that is a goal of mine, is to go over and do it all. But I'm really, I'm trying to set my priorities straight and learn my trade before I decide to go off and do something else. And just continue on with that. But as soon as I get the right opportunity and I feel it's good enough, I'll run with it. And I'm really trying to make it so I'd be able to have little brother come over with me, and we could do the whole experience together. But times the times get hard, and you have to stick through it. And now, so when the time becomes right, and we all want to go over and do the whole ordeal, that's when the time will be.
At Costa Mesa at one of the races, your little brother kind of took you out. Was there any repercussions towards him after that?
No, I told him, I looked up, I said, "What are you doing, man? You get one of those." But no, it was a racing incident. Anything can happen, and from a dive bomb from third to first, I couldn't blame him. I'd try the same thing too. But it's like I said, it's a racing incident, and I understood that, and we all got back up and continued on, so that there was no stress or bother.
Do you have any favorite teams in Europe? Let's start out in England. Do you have a favorite English British League team?
If we were talking about teams, I'm not too a big familiar guy with the big teams. I've gotten to ride on a few tracks over there, such as Rye House, Kings Lynn, and that's that's basically it. Those are the two tracks I've ridden on over there. The one track, Rye House, that was a really fun track and had a big banking to it, and I really enjoyed it. So if I had to choose, I guess Rye House would be a cool one because that's just it was one of the better tracks I got to ride. Kings Lynn was a big and fast track as well, which it's a World Cup racetrack, so it's hard to tell the difference. It's hard to pick between them both because Rye House was a lot more American stylish. It had tight corners, big long straights. Kings Lynn was a big round track, and it was all about speed. So it's a big difference. But if I had to choose, I would choose Rye House because it's more of an American style track.
You've been practicing a lot lately. Where have you been practicing?
We got two main tracks out here in Southern California. We get to ride at it. We get to go out to Milestone MX. So Milestone Motocross Park is a cool one. They put in a speedway track for us. It's really a Harley / hooligan track, but they allow the speedway bikes to get on it and have some fun. And we go out there every chance we get, every chance that I'm not working or doing something. That's where I'm trying to be. And then we get some awesome practice with Ricky Wells when we get to go to Paris and do that whole ordeal. And that was a really fun one as well. I really enjoyed that one.
Do you think Milestone, the MX track, can host a speedway race in the future?
I'm sure if somebody wanted to make it possible, they could. It's all about promotion and spectators. If you can get enough people that want to show up and pay the money to come in and host the event, then yeah, I'm sure everybody would want to race there. I'm sure it'd be a rad racetrack too. Maybe a little skinny, but it'd be all for fun.
What's your favorite gate to start from?
Gate 3,
And would you consider yourself an inside or outside rider?
give or take. It depends on the night.
What's your favorite type of food to eat?
Yeah, Thai food,
What's your favorite fast food place to eat at?
Alberto's.
What's your favorite post-race food, like after a night at Costa Mesa or Industry?
Well, that's where Alberto's comes into play. That's where I try and keep my fast food.
Do you think you get a Alberto's sponsorship?
That'd be one wicked
Post-
sponsor.
Do you prefer curry or kebabs?
Curry.
What are you looking forward most to at the Winter Invitational?
The thing I'm looking forward to most is seeing my buddies. I get to go out and see all my friends and go have a good night. It's cool that we have a little bit of a purse going on for it. So, if I do decent enough, I might make a little bit of money as well. I'm Max Rummel. I'll be riding at the Winter Invitational this year.
Here, thanks for your time.
Have a good one.
This week, I'd like to thank Jane and Clark Oden for providing some awesome photos. They've been going to a lot of practice sessions at Paris and Milestone Speedway. I'll put a link down to Jane Oden's Race Day Photos site. Like it. She has some awesome photos. Please check out my other interviews. I have one with Sebastian Palmese right here, and another one with Colton Hicks, who'll be riding the 500 at the Winter Invitational. And also, don't forget to subscribe. You could do that right here. Hit this little thing to subscribe. You'll get an email every time I publish a new interview. Thank you. Have a great week. See you around the track. Bye.